Welcome to InformOverload, the show where we take the top trending topics on the internet and then make them more entertaining. I'm your host Johnny Rogers, aka the Bacon Overlord, and to never miss another exciting video, click that subscribe button and ring the bell to join our notification squad. Before we get started though, leave us a comment down below with your story of revenge, and while you ponder that, let's jump right into the top 10 times people who were catfished got revenge. In at number 10, time thievery. This story begins with a woman meeting a guy on the dating app Hinge who went by the name of David T. After the pair started communicating, David told her about his emotional trauma from his childhood that the woman really started to relate to. Weeks went by and she started falling really hard for this guy. Randomly, his phone number changed though, and while she was planning her exit strategy, she still gave him time to explain. After saying that she needed to speak with him on the phone or else communications would end, he read the message and then didn't reply. So she blocked David T and reported his Hinge profile to the administrators. After looking into his profile, the company decided that it was indeed fake and in violation of their terms and services, so safe to say this guy won't be catfishing women on Hinge anytime soon. In at number 9, meet the man. A young mother by the name of Kirsty Whiffen was smitten after she had matched with a male model looking guy on a dating site. The man's catfish name was Carl Chambers, who claimed to be a wealthy property developer. Over time she began to get very suspicious and enlisted the help of a private detective. The detective discovered that Chambers was really a man named Chris Batchelor who's been doing this for a long time. Over the course of 3 years, the serial catfisher had made 52 fake profiles using the image of a man named Matt Peacock. Kirsty finally got her revenge when she set up a meeting with her catfisher. Although she wouldn't be going, in her place, Matt Peacock went to confront the man who had been using his photos. In at number 8, the dorm bros. The following story of revenge was submitted to BuzzFeed by a man named Drew O'Connor. Some of the guys in his dorm hall had decided to make a fake Facebook account with photos of a random girl that they had found online. They messaged a few people with this fake profile, doing the whole flirting, catfishing thing that people usually do, and then after a while they eventually let the account disappear. Then it was Christmas Day and he suddenly got a message from a random woman saying, "I hope my request isn't too much." Next thing he knew, he had a relationship request. They had planned on meeting up for lunch on campus, but when she didn't arrive and the guys from his dorm walked in, he knew that it was fake. Afterwards he found the real girl who the pictures were actually of. One of the guys from the dorm actually knew her too. She thought the whole thing was crazy but wanted to meet him anyways, and as a result they ended up going on a few dates. That's a win in my books, chief. In at number 7, you can't fool me. This is a story that was posted to Reddit about a woman that knew she was being catfished from the get-go. She woke up to a text message from an unknown number that said, "Hey beautiful, how'd you sleep?" The number was local and insisted that she gave him her number. Right away this drew some red flags because she knew that she had never given out her number. A month prior to this she had called the police on 3 coworkers because they had made her feel unsafe. This call to the police though ended in all 3 employees being fired. She had a feeling that it was one of these people that had a crush on her at the time as well, so she pulled up his Facebook profile and searched his friends list for the name that he was using to catfish her. Sure enough, she found the real profile and sent him screenshots just to let the guy know that his buddy was using his profile to catfish people online. Hopefully he wasn't in on it too. In at number 6, the Reddit thread. This story of revenge was submitted to BuzzFeed by a woman named Emily Johnson. While on a random site, she connected with a very attractive man. They spoke for a while back and forth and he would often send suggestive photos. It sounded too good to be true, so she tried to do a reverse Google search and surprise surprise, there were a few profiles with this guy's photo. After doing some more digging around the internet, she discovered that these intimate photos were posted to a Reddit thread. Then this brave soul decides to contact the real guy in the pictures and he was freaked out by the whole thing. Emily and the real guy actually ended up talking for a while and connected. Big win. In at number 5, One Direction. This victim of catfishing once believed that she was best friends with Louis Tomlinson's younger sister Fizzy. They had met in a One Direction chat room and this person had been claiming that they were indeed the younger sister of this One Directioner. She confessed everything to Fizzy and they grew quite close because of it. A few weeks later her mom was watching an episode of Dr. Phil about catfishing and that's when she finally started putting all of the pieces together. One of her friends had the real Fizzy following her on Twitter, so she asked if she could get in touch. Turns out they had been doing this for a while and the real Fizzy thanked her for bringing it to her attention. In at number 4, the Joker. This was by far one of the cringiest episodes of MTV's Catfish. A man named Adam had started an online chat that he used to catfish anywhere from 30 to 40 people. He even dubbed himself the King of Catfish. When Neve and Max confronted him with the person he had been catfishing, the result was not what Adam expected. Adam wanted this guy to get really angry with him, which meant that his catfishing had been a success. Although John seemed more baffled at why someone would choose to do this at all. all. Adam had also been catfishing a woman named Ellie that he actually believed that he was in a relationship with. To get revenge on this catfisher, they dropped the laptop right in front of him with Ellie live via Skype. He was now face to face with the woman that he had been lying to and had to not only lose her, but admit to everything that he did. In at number 3, phone toss. This was perhaps the most savage revenge ever on the MTV show Catfish. On the episode featuring Lucille and a man named Kid Cole, Lucille desperately wanted to uncover the truth about his story. Kid Cole claimed to be a music producer who was working for Kanye West's Good label. She was worried that he may be using her for cash though, and turns out he was actually a huge con artist. At the meetup, Neve could not contain his frustration with this guy and ended up snatching his phone out of his hand and then tossing it straight into the Potomac River. That's gangster. In at number 2, the Uno reverse card. This is a perfect example of what happens when catfishing goes horribly wrong. A woman receives a text message from a random number saying, "Hey, how are you?" The two go back and forth for a bit, with the intended catfish victim having zero idea who this person is. He tells her that he's a Marine and she asks for a photo because she really didn't remember. Once he sends the photo, she states that she doesn't recognize him, which is where he believes that he now has the upper hand. They talk back and forth for a little bit and finally he asks for a photo of her. He then says, "How are you gonna try to catfish a wrong number that texted you?" The guy follows this up by saying that he showed a friend her photo and that they found the person she was claiming to be, for which she replies, "Then you should know she's the girlfriend of the real guy in the photo you sent me." Yo, Uno reverse card times a million. My mind is blown here. Last but not least, in our number 1 spot, Twitter revenge. In this story, a woman had unintentionally met someone on Twitter that she suddenly started chatting with via text daily. This guy started to admit feelings for her, so she tried to plan for them to meet up, but time after time he would cancel last minute and there was always some excuse as to why. This went on for months at a time, and finally she told him that she was going to drive to his town, and when he found out, he admitted that he was actually a she. As the catfish victim was on her way out of town, she drove by a gym that she recognized from the man's photos that this catfisher was using. She had a weird feeling, and on a hunch she went into the gym. Sure enough, someone in the gym recognized the photo, and the next thing she knew, she was meeting up with the actual guy. The woman goes on to say, "We agreed to meet up at a later date, we did, we hooked up, it was awesome." With that, let's check out some of your comments from the video titled "The Untold Truth of Russ McKamey." Kimberly says, "You guys do realize he doesn't just kidnap you off the street, right? One must sign up for it. Did you expect some sort of Disney cartoon series of haunts?" Well, Kimberly, while you are correct that he doesn't kidnap people off the street, it can also be true that he interviews everyone that asks to attend and selects them on the basis of who he thinks is easily manipulated. The reason why he can operate is under the guise of it being voluntary, and that he doesn't directly interact with the torturing. Remember that evil can come in all forms. By standing up for him at all, you're saying that it's okay for him to mentally, physically, and emotionally abuse people. Just keep that in mind. Amanda M.A. says, "I did a paper on this guy in my psychology. If you ever want to do a part 2, I have a lot of info. I have interviewed real participants. Did you know there are people who actually bet on these people going through this attraction in Vegas? It's criminal. This man is insane." That is actually nuts. Please definitely DM us on Instagram at InformOverload, and if you can link us to your paper, that would be even better. Tiffany Guzman says, "This is way too crazy. I've been to a few haunted houses that you have to sign a waiver, but it's never said anything about the possibility of death. I wouldn't allow someone to hold me underwater, pull teeth out of my head, basically abuse me in such a manner. Nope, I'm swinging, F that." Yeah, any haunted house that you might die in is too much, okay? If you see that in a waiver, just turn around and run. Annie Reyes says, "Ron from the channel Surviving Life has covered Russ McKamey and his manner extensively. Also has interviewed people that have gone through the challenge. The dude's a sadistic scam artist more than anything else." That's very interesting that someone has covered this. I saw a few videos, but I'm definitely gonna have to check this one out. Thanks. Disney on Wheels says, "I'm getting very concerned about that black hole. It's going to suck up our bacon overlord and transport him to a new universe. Run, Johnny, run." Don't worry, I'm still alive. No black hole could ever take the bacon overlord off his throne. Please, editors, do not suck me into a black hole. I'm alive. And that has been the top 10 times people who were catfished got revenge. Thank you for watching Inform Overload. And if you enjoyed this video, then show us some love here by tapping that like and subscribe button. Also, make sure you give us a follow on Instagram for tons of behind the scenes content. Links for that will be in the description below. And while you're there, why don't you leave us a comment with your thoughts on this list. Plus, for more videos like this one, all you gotta do is tap that playlist when it comes up on your screen. From IO, my name is Johnny Rogers. Until next time, stay glassy. We would send suggestive photos and that. What am I trying to say, guys? They talk back and forth for some more. They're talking back. Why is it hard to say? They talk back and forth some more. As the catch. I am sweating. The man that this woman was using. Why can't I speak, guys?